Peace, Bill. I'm Jeannie. We're two do-it-yourselfers who met on a sailboat in 1988. 3 houses and 4 boats later, we're refitting our 1998 Seahorse Oceaneer 55-foot steel trawler, Blue Sky. Welcome to our journey.
We're going to start the 2 engines and let them run, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. Just make sure that we're not seeing any major overheats, no major fuel leaks. You want to give me some Scott towels and we'll check oil and stuff real quick.
Coolant's good?
Yeah, coolant's good on starboard engine.
And what's that?
This is oil here. Add a little bit to it.
Adding some oil to the starboard engine?
Yep. Okay, now we're right at that second dot, so it is perfectly full.
Checking transmission fluid. What's that little shorty?
Yeah. Come on. Transmission looks good. It's right there at the end of the gradient.
Starboard engine's all set. Now he's checking the port engine. So antifreeze is up there.
Yep.
What's this one?
That's oil fill to put oil in.
Okay.
But it still looks really clean.
Yeah.
Yep, that one looks very good.
Oil. It's good on the port engine.
Yeah.
And what's the last thing?
Transmission.
Transmission.
No, well, I mean, it's not as high as the other one, but it's right there at the line. Let's see, there's a line gradient there.
Okay.
This is our main water feed, and this is the normal position when we're in dock or anchored. But anyway, water cut off, and to get water coming into the unit, we bring it up. So now it is now being fed water. And then on the fuel panel over here, which I've already set up, but we'll walk through it again. This is the engine's filter. So this is normally it would be closed. So that's 2-port engine filter, and I would open it. And the other thing I want to do is I can either pull from the aft tank or the forward tank. And in this case, I'm going to pull from the aft tank. And then up here, this is the supply manifolds here, and this is the return manifold here. And so I'm going to be getting fuel coming up this line from the engine. So normally it would have been closed. And now I'm going to open it. So now it's open. And then I'm going to put fuel, because diesel's excess fuel goes by to cool the fuel injector pump. So that's why you have this return, and then fuel goes back to the tank. And I can have it go to the aft tank or the forward tank, or there's these lines going overhead that will bring fuel from the starboard side. So I can run the engines and the generators from one tank anywhere of the 4 tanks, or I can have the genset and engine that are on the same side can be pulling from the forward or the aft. Now you can't have the generator pull from something different, but the 2 engines you can always have pulling something different, and then the generator just kind of follows what the engine's pulling from. So anyway, now we're going to start them later. One more thing that we need to do is we need to enable the fans at the front of the engine room that pull air from up high. We have what we call the chimney right here. It actually goes all the way to the top of the boat and is able to pull air in it. And we have some fans here. Fan port intake, so I can turn it on. And then we have fan starboard intake. And since we're now pressurizing the engine room, we don't want the air coming into the rest of the boat, because we're pulling air in. So we have 2 fans that will also pull air back out of the boat, and of course it's going to be hot air once the engines have used it. So now we have port rear exhaust, and we have starboard rear exhaust. So now we have all those guys running, and so they're exchanging the air, bringing more air in and pushing air out. I think the exhaust ones are just a little stronger than the input ones, if I remember correctly, so that you get a little bit of negative pressure, and that way you keep exhaust gases or any smells from coming into the rest of the boat when you're running the engines. We'll start with the starboard one.
Okay.
Did not want to start. it's definitely time to replace those batteries. So give the port a shot and see if it'll do anything useful.
Let's shut the door, see if it how it quietens.
Okay, want to go check water outside?
Okay. Oh.
So there's the overflow, or so because that hides the water, that's a tee off of it. So once it pressurizes, you get water coming out there, which makes it very easy to see. But when I installed the generator, I didn't add that, so I need to add that back in so the generator water comes out there. So let's check the other side. I can see from here that we have a good stream of water coming out right now.
Yeah.
I want to check temps real quick, then we go check the transmission. Everything looks good temp-wise. I mean, oil pressure is sitting at 70, and then we got water is about just a little over 100. This one we started a little later, so again, oil pressure is sitting right at 70. This one's at 100, which is not a surprise, and then both of them are idling right around 900. Both alternators appear to be turning. Okay, up to the pilot house to put them in gear for a moment. We'll use our remote here, make sure it's still working. So right now I'm not in control of anything and it's in warm-up mode. So I'm going to do take and take again. So now I'm in control, but as you see we're in warm, so I can make the engines, I can click into gear, but it does nothing because we're in warm right now. But it lets you increase the RPMs and you know, if you needed to, if it was a really cold day and you wanted to warm the engines up quicker, you could increase the RPMs. Anyway, I'm going to hold the warm button down. Okay, now we should be able to make this engine going forward. Yep, there it goes, and we're rumbling forward. Okay, I'll put it back in reverse now. Now it's pulling us back. Okay, now let's see, waiting for it to settle down a little bit. Put the other one in forward. Okay, yeah, we're moving forward. And put us in reverse. Yeah, there we go into reverse. Of course, we're not going very far because we're on ropes. Anyway, so that's all working.
Cool.
This is our dashboard control for the bow and stern thruster. And you have the bow thruster on top, stern thruster in the rear, and you got to bring both of these guys down. So I'm going to turn, so that's the forward one's on and the aft one's on. And then once you get power turned on, you come over here to this control and you hit it once and it'll start beeping. You hit it a second time and now it's enabled, and you can control it from here. So like if I tell the bow to go, you watching out there?
Oh, there
So
we
there the
go.
bow's moving that way. Okay, so like this will move us to port. So, and this would move
The
the stern to port, and that would move it to starboard. Okay, and so now we'll go out because you can also control it with this box here too. This is my forward, starboard thrust, and port, and aft. So if I can push here, so it'll move it to starboard.
Okay.
And that moves it to port, and then aft. Okay, well, we've pretty much finished our testing here. It's interesting, this one is staying still kind of low, but the oil pressure's come down. That's gotten to its operating temperature. I think I just saw it thermostat close and go back and forth. I want to watch it for a minute. I'm not really sure why that one is not getting to operating temperature, unless it's the gauge is an issue. So I'll have to watch that. And then we had issues, the batteries for the stern thruster are having issues, so I think the fuse probably blew on them. Okay, so let's go ahead and take everything down. Okay, there's that one off. That one off. Okay, both of those are off. I'll just peek in here real quick. Nothing major going on, thank goodness. Except it is very, very warm in there now. It's always the joy of firing up the two engines. It makes this room very hot. So, we will close this door back up and let everything sit.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to smash that subscribe button.